Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we handle news from our city, our state, and our country. We take a look at news that you share with us, along with your questions and comments about Puerto Vallarta, and we combine all that information together so that we can produce these broadcasts and we can hopefully have a more connected life living here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Wednesday, February 23rd, and as always, we have all kinds of wonderful and interesting news to share with you, but not before we welcome... Oh, I'm sorry, I have to stop for this. This is really funny because Craig says, enjoyed a great lunch at Whiskey Kitchen yesterday. Don't tell my cardiologist. Well, Craig, I totally hear you. In fact, I'm looking forward to a great lunch at Whiskey Kitchen tomorrow, and I won't tell my cardiologist either. Anyhow, we don't want to get going without saying hello and welcome to anybody that is joining us for the first time. And if that is the case, please let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment. We'll give you a nice little welcome. And if you have something truly important to say, please feel free to share it with us. And please feel free to add a letter Q at the beginning of your comment, as Bill has done here. Bill wants to know, what does my shirt say? It says a lot of things that have to do with music and jazz. Jazz it up. That's what my shirt of the day says today, and it's a very appropriate shirt because of some of the content that we are going to share today. I'm going to share, among other things, a new band that I just discovered, and it works for me. I hope it works for you, but every time I watch one of their videos, I can't help but to smile, and I almost want to get up and dance. It's not a local band. It has nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta, but I think it is definitely worth enjoying and definitely worth sharing. So let's get going with our broadcast and let us follow the usual routine. We'll go through the news first, then the weather, and then a few other tidbits, and then we'll take a look at your comments. Okay, the first bit of news is important and happy news. The time has come for booster shots for folks in their 30s. This coming Friday, 8,000 AstraZeneca doses will be made available at La Lija, only at La Lija. There will be no doses available for those looking for a first or a second shot. This is only for boosters, only for folks in their 30s, and only one day. This is this coming Friday. As usual, pre-registration and printing of your paperwork ahead of time is necessary to expedite the exercise. So if you know of anybody in their 30s, or if you are in your 30s, this is the time to go get your booster shot, provided, of course, that you have a first and second shot already taken care of. Now, Friday seems to be an important place for us, as Governor Alfaro has said that on Friday, the State Health Board will announce new mandates based on the decreasing trend of active cases and hospitalizations in our state. It is expected that access limits to bars, theaters, stadiums, and other nighttime venues will be increased. But that said, Governor Alfaro did advance the fact that requesting vaccination certificates upon entering nighttime venues will remain in place, and he even hopes to make it a permanent measure, of course, as long as the pandemic is in place. So again, we'll learn more details on Friday. We don't know if this will be Friday before our broadcast, but between Friday and Saturday, we should have a little bit more clarity as to what the new mandates will be like. But again, these are not mandates for us to get concerned about. As we mentioned yesterday, the pandemic seems to be decreasing. So if anything, these mandates will hopefully make it easier for people to go about our business and to continue to strengthen our economy. Seapal. Our favorite waterworks company has told us that if you are living in Conchas Chinas, Amapas, or the Olas Altas area, Expect water shortages today between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. So if you haven't taken your shower and you are in any of these three neighborhoods, you can watch Coffee and Headlines later. I would just go potty or I would go take a shower right now while I can. And while the pipes are being replaced, and hopefully the service will be restored by 3 p.m. today, as they have announced. I have, ay Dios mío, we've been following this case of Chava, the teenage boy that was kidnapped at birth and recently found 16 years later. We have a small update on this very bizarre case. Salvador Bernal, who is the man that raised the boy, went to the Jalisco State Attorney's Office to testify a couple of days ago. And even though the attorney's office has yet to release a statement or what their next steps are going to be in the investigation, Salvador Bernal also spoke with a local television station where he indicated, get this is so weird, that he doesn't quite know how the boy came into their lives, as his spouse, the woman that raised him, Alejandra, did not allow him to be part of her pregnancy process, nor did he ever know of her having any type of ultrasound or examination during her alleged pregnancy. He only knows that one day she showed up with a baby in her arms and has always stated that the boy is her son. Of course, she has been missing in action since last Friday. So this is, just think about this for a second. You are a teenage boy who finds out that your father's not your father, your mother's not your mother. You meet your new parents. Your alleged father says, I knew nothing about this. And your mother, or the woman that raised you, is missing in action. I mean, talk about, this kid is going to need so much money for shrink therapy and whatnot, because this is just a bizarre situation. Anyhow, I wanted to let you in on this because I'm totally curious. I hope the kid is going to be okay, and I hope he finds love wherever he is sent or whatever happens with his life, because ultimately, that's what I would want. Anyhow, that's what we have for that. We have another bit of news that is important. The federal government has announced new fines for individuals or groups that hijack toll booths through Mexico, with fines that range between, say, close to 9,000 and 45,000 pesos. And it's about time the government did this. And I'm going to offer you a little bit of context so that you understand what this is about. There may have been a time in the past in which students or teacher organizations looking to raise awareness of their causes, they used to take over highway toll booths and collect the money for themselves. They, in the beginning, were not necessarily so concerned about making the money, but they just wanted to alert the general public as to maybe working conditions or poor education situations or whatever. And for the longest time, we became accustomed to this, as Mexicans. You go through a highway, you get to a toll booth, and, you usually pay the operator. But when you see groups standing there, well, you give them the money. But more and more highway booths, are being hijacked by criminal groups pretending to be there for social justice. This exercise causes losses to the Mexican government in excess of millions and millions of pesos each year. And the coronavirus pandemic has exacerbated the practice. So it is a good thing that the federal government is finally taking a stance against this, and hopefully this practice will be eradicated. Now, what does this mean for you if you find yourself driving down the highway and all of a sudden you get to a toll booth and somebody stops you and doesn't look like an official employee because they're not standing behind the booth? What do we do? Well, honestly, I would simply give the money because, I would not want to threaten my life by refusing. And that is, unfortunately, the situation. Now, this doesn't happen all the time when you're driving through Mexico. So please don't be afraid of exploring the country on a vehicle. But this can happen. and it's just a matter of time, hopefully, before it will be completely eradicated. Now, let us take a quick look at, yes, the weather is next. Let's take a look at the weather, and then we continue with a couple of announcements, including yet another great excuse to spend the weekend in Guadalajara, our capital city. I promise this nice weather is not a trick designed to get you outdoors, says our snarky weatherman. I think it is an excuse to get us outdoors. And I'm looking forward to going outdoors. Incidentally, yes, today is Wednesday, and I should be walking Wednesdaying today. But as it turns out, I have an outing today, and I have another outing scheduled for tomorrow. So we will do walking exercises on Friday or Saturday, if all goes well. In the meantime, I'm happy to announce that we're enjoying a comfortable 26-degree temperature. Feels like 28. Humidity is a little higher than yesterday at 61%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit is 79 degrees. Our weather forecast for today says it's going to be humid through the day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 17. Tomorrow, Thursday, we can expect yet another humid day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 17, just as today. And on Friday, we can expect yet another humid day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature a little warmer, 18 degrees Celsius. And that is our weather forecast for today and the next couple of days. Not bad at all. I am actually going on a little beach outing today, but not the beaches in Puerto Vallarta. I'm going slightly north with some friends, and I'll be happy to report on this adventure in the next couple of days. Now, here is yet another reason to go to Guadalajara, but first let me set it up. When you want to enjoy a wine expo or harvest, you usually have to travel to a vineyard. And of course, Mexico offers a handful of awesome destinations to consider with beautiful vineyards in Baja California or Coahuila, for example, where many of Mexico's premier or prime wine producers are located. But what if you wish to enjoy the vineyard experience in places where there are no wine producers? Well, the city of Guadalajara has been making this possible through what they call La Vendimia en Nuestra Tierra, or the Wine Fest in our backyard. A new event has been announced for Guadalajara, and it's going to take place on the weekend of April 2nd and 3rd at the Santander Complex for Scenic Arts. This will be the third edition of the event, and everything seems to indicate that this year what will be showcased is bubblies. This will be bubblies produced in Mexico. The event takes place outdoors, and it also features wine tasting workshops, gourmet master classes, samplings of regional coffee, chocolate, and cheeses, and also live music. So one could easily consider making a weekend in Guadalajara by going on the tequila train on Friday and, of course, drinking shitloads of tequila, then going on the Wine Fest on Saturday and Sunday, and coming back to Puerto Vallarta Sunday afternoon with plenty of Alka-Seltzers in tow. Boom, boom. If you are considering this, tickets are already on sale at the Conjunto Santander website, and they cost 600 pesos per person, and this includes access to the event and all the samplings that take place within the event. Let's see what else we have. Oh yes, I want to tell you about a new band that I discovered that is going to make me young if I keep listening to it. Younger, happier. A few days ago, YouTube gifted me a random video of a band I never heard of before, and that I cannot stop listening ever since. And the band is called Tuba Skinny. They are from New Orleans. I don't know if you've heard of them before. I've never heard of them before. The band was formed in 2009. It started as a bunch of a loose collection of street musicians that eventually got together and evolved into a solid ensemble dedicated to bringing the traditional New Orleans sound to audiences around the world with a repertoire that includes spirituals, depression area, blues, ragtime, and traditional jazz. Now, nothing makes my day more than young musicians preserving or rescuing repertoire or styles from the past. And this is definitely the case with this band. I'm going to leave you the video that made me fall in love with them, which was clearly recorded right on the street as folks were just passing by or dancing by. And when you watch them, if you watch them, pay close attention to the woman up front. Her name is Shay Cohn, and not only does she play the cornet, she's also responsible for the band's orchestrations. And I love watching her command the ensemble, indicating each one of the members when and what to play with simple nods. Of course, another fascinating characteristic of Dixieland jazz is the fact that several musicians are known to improvise at the same time on their instruments, which to me is absolutely fascinating. So I'm going to leave you with their website. I'm going to leave you with this YouTube video so that you can dive into this world of Dixieland jazz. I tell you, at the very least, I know that they will leave you with a nice smile on your face. And now let's take a quick look at some of your comments to see what you're up to this morning. Let's see, lots of hellos, which we enjoy. We read Craig's comment about Whiskey Kitchen already, but it's a pleasure to see it. Oh, by the way, I keep walking past the new Whiskey Kitchen location. Excuse me. Hiccup. And I can see that they're getting closer and closer to opening. We're going to keep you posted on that, of course. Let's see what else. I showed you what my shirt says already. Yes. And let's see what else we have. John is going to be walking through Cinco de Diciembre in 14 days. Mazel tov. I look forward to that. Excellent. Thank you for checking in. Let's see what else we have. Oh, New Hampshire Seacoast. That makes me feel not homesick, but I miss my years of living in New England and pedaling my bicycle all over the place. Then let's see what else we have. Gwen and I had a great dinner at Cafe El Repollo Rojo, the red cabbage. I haven't been there for ages, but I know that it is a beautiful and wonderful restaurant. Doug says we went to the new Bonito Kitchen last night. Wonderful food and great surroundings. I didn't know that they had finally opened. I read on their website that they opened on Monday, but of course that could have been this past Monday or this coming Monday. I am not sure, but it's definitely on my list of places to check out, as I know that particular location quite well. It used to be an art gallery, and it has a gorgeous backyard. And from some of the photos that I've seen, Bonito Kitchen has transformed the back area into a beautiful outdoor place. Let's see what else. Not once was vaccination certificates or PCR tests asked for at the days I attended the International Charro event. So I guess they pick and choose where enforcements are made, says Julie. That's an interesting comment to me, as I have encountered in the last few weeks places where the PCR or vaccination certificates were not requested, and it has left me wondering if A, I want to say something, or B, I want to not say something. Ultimately, I appreciate your remark, Julie, and I appreciate knowing where are the places that are not requesting the tests, the certificates, when I think they should. How do you feel about that? Do you want to know that there are certain venues that should be asking for the tests, or do you not want to know? Because there's two sides of that. You know, we can continue to shame places or report them. We can simply turn around and go away, or simply enjoy the experience and choose to not go back to those places. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you, but I was at a venue recently where I thought they should have, and they didn't, and it left me thinking, do I want to come back to that venue? Do I feel comfortable? Do I have a responsibility to let you know? So let me know your thoughts on that one in your comments, and I'll continue scrolling through them, and I hope to get some feedback from you because it's something that is important, especially if the governor has announced that this request is not going to go away anytime soon. Then, I saw this comment earlier, Ryan, about the boy who was kidnapped, and you're right. You'd think you might ask a few more questions of your spouse during said pregnancy. Well, we actually don't know if the alleged father is telling the truth. Maybe he's just wanted to cover his ass. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think I feel for the kid. I feel for the young man because that's got to be a mind fuck either way. Let's see what else we have. Wanting to take an excursion to Guadalajara. I've not driven from here as an adult. Can I expect an uneventful drive? Yes, you can, Javier, and I can make a recommendation if you'd like. Getting to Guadalajara, there are three choices. There is the old toll-free highway, which stops everywhere and anywhere. Sorry, itchy head. There is the toll highway, which of course is expensive because the tolls are expensive. And then there's the mountain road through Mascota. If I want to go to Guadalajara and I'm in a hurry, or I'm going in a vehicle where I'm sharing the cost of the tolls, I will take the toll road. The highway is very good, very well kept. It's a technically challenging highway because there's a lot of curves and whatnot. So you want to drive. You want to be a good driver if you're going to through that highway, or you want to drive not very crazy. If I'm not in a hurry to get to Guadalajara, I choose to take the mountain road through Talpa and Mascota and San Sebastián del Oeste because there are a lot of places to stop. And if you need to go to the bathroom or if you want to just stretch your legs and whatnot, I just love the highway that goes through the mountains. It's only one lane per direction, so you can have the misfortune of being behind a very slow vehicle, and if you're in a part of the road that has a lot of curves, it may take a while for you to be able to pass that slow vehicle. But otherwise, those are the two choices that I would consider. Of course, if you're going by bus, the buses will take the toll road, and you're being on the bus, you have very little to worry about. Let's see what else we have. Oh, good. At least one person that has heard of Tuba Skinny. That is awesome. Lisa says, my husband and I were in San Sebastián del Oeste. Thank you for mentioning the alley walk. We wouldn't have known about it if not for you. It was lovely. Oh, that makes my day, Lisa, because I definitely want to schedule a weekend in San Sebastián del Oeste while they're doing them, because I'd love to videotape it and bring it back here for the cluster to enjoy. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Does it also include Zydeco? I don't think so, Kate, but you will find all the information that you need about Tuba Skinny once you take a look at their website. They have a ton of videos on YouTube, so you can explore their repertoire on your own. Are you still going to Guadalajara, says Christy. Oh, Christy. I just keep saying that I want to go to Guadalajara, and between budget and the arm and the pandemic and this, that, and the other, it's not happening. I really wanted to go this weekend for a concert by the Philharmonic, and I'm just want to make sure that this is working well enough for me to go to Guadalajara. I want to make sure that I feel confident with my arm, and because my doctor said you need to continue to strap it when you're out and about. I don't think being out and about in Guadalajara with an arm sling is going to be an ideal situation. But I'm always on the lookout for great excuses to go to Guadalajara. Of course, there is the opera broadcasts from the Met. There are other concerts performed by the Jalisco Philharmonic. And now this Wine Fest looks like a great opportunity to go. Bill asks, wasn't the Charro event in Nayarit? The answer is no. The Charro event was here in Jalisco, right? In Puerto Vallarta, for that matter. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Julie comments, I feel rules are rules, have or don't have them. Well, I totally agree on that. Kate says, my partner and I want to know. Lisa says, I'm glad to have reports on who is COVID careful. Den has another counterpart. We know what we need to do to keep ourselves safe, and ultimately we are the only ones who can make that choice. Yes, but my question would be, and particularly to you, Dan and Kathy, I mean, if you have decided that you are not going to go to places that don't enforce the rules, and you get there and I know that for you guys, because you're traveling around with a wheelchair, it's a big production. What do you do once you get to that place and you've already gone there? Or maybe you want to call ahead and ask, I don't know. And Jill comments, yes, let us know about those venues, may influence plans before we get to those venues. And Logan says, I'll keep it light and give a shout out to the only venue I have frequented in the last 3 weeks that did ask for the Vax certificate, and that's the Palm Cabaret. Good on you to team at the Palm for doing the right thing. And I have to confirm that when I went to one of the semifinals of the Rice competition, I was there, and indeed they asked for my vaccination certificate, and I gladly showed it. Michael says, it shows a disregard for those relying on the safety of venues where everyone is supposed to be vaccinated. I think they should be reported and avoided. Okay. Albert says, there's no way to know if my experience will be the same as yours at any given place. Let's see what else we have. It should not be too much to ask people to simply follow the rules. It is becoming truly discouraging that I must alter my life in so many ways when we should be taking care of each other. I hear you, and I empathize with that. And Dan says, if we don't feel safe, we leave. As Kathy reminds me frequently, we have no power to make anyone else do anything. All we have control over is our actions, and I agree with you. And another comment, Timothy says, I just discovered you and I'm loving your program. Thank you very much. I am planning to retire to PV and I am learning so much from you. That is great to hear. That is great to hear. And that's what we're here for, Timothy. Welcome to the cluster. I will let you know where I went, and I was not asked for any kind of certificate. It's the night that I went to see Zoe Lewis at Encanto. I was not asked for my certificate there. I had a conversation about this with another performer who said, well, Encanto has a restaurant license. And my thought on that is, well, you have a restaurant license, and more often than not, Encanto works as a bar. So it's one of those gray areas when it really becomes a personal decision. Do I want to cater to a place where 95% of the people present are there just drinking? Not to mention the fact that the place offers concerts. So it is a concert venue, and concert venues are supposed to request vaccination certificates. So, this is not necessarily to shame Encanto, but it is definitely one of those gray areas in which you'd think the owners of the venue would show more respect for the mandate. But it's not for me to decide where you should go or you shouldn't go, and that's all I have to share with about that. Gouda Gabor says, industry, to my great surprise and pleasure, was asking for vaccine proof last night at their erotic show, which is amazing, by the way. That's good to hear. That's good to hear that a bar like industry is asking for vaccination proof. That's excellent. And I think we should commend those places that are following the law. And that's what we have for today. I hope you had a good broadcast. I hope you enjoyed ourselves. As always, I thank you for your company and I thank you for your support. And I wish for you the most excellent Wednesday. And I hopefully will have great things to report tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. So have a great day and I'll see you again soon.